This online presentation will cover a short overview of the platform and the recent updates that have been made to it, a review of the content that sits on Wiley Online Library, as well as a few facts and figures. We'll be going through the platform's homepage, which should give you an idea of the experience you can expect when you visit Wiley Online Library. Next, we will discuss the search functionality of the platform. This will include a few basic and advanced searches, filters and other features. Next, we will look at the actual content pages. We'll go a little more in depth and preview the article and chapter level content and the features that come with that. This includes citation data, related content, references and more. We'll also show you what a Society Hub page looks like in comparison to standard Wiley Online Library content. Wiley is firmly established as the world's leading society publisher, with over half of our 1,600 journals published in partnership with prestigious international scholarly and professional societies. Our titles cover the full spectrum of life, health and physical sciences, social science and the humanities, and include many titles ranked at the forefront of their field. We are proud to work with over 600,000 authors across different disciplines, with annual visitors numbering over 170 million from over 200 countries across the globe. Our content gets nearly 900 million page views a year, and we're also pleased to say 3,500 institutions get philanthropic access to our content from within developing nations. Recently we have made changes by moving Wiley Online Library. It is now hosted on the Literatum platform, and if you access other publishers' content already hosted on this platform, you will no doubt recognise that it shares some features and functionality which will be familiar to you. One of the main reasons we moved to the new platform is to allow us to evolve the features and content that we offer, based in part on the feedback that we receive from users. We're excited about the possibilities this will allow us to offer in the future. Literatum is already used by over 900 publisher websites, hosting over 9,000 journals and 13 million journal articles. Designed with scholarly publishing in mind, it allows us to make use of more powerful search and content features, and will allow us to more quickly implement new features and solutions in the future. The core of Wiley Online Library is our journal content, published in partnership with prestigious international scholarly and professional societies. In addition to this, we also have our journal backfiles. Wiley backfiles span 3 centuries of scientific research, over 18 million pages across 900 titles, covering the complete range of scientific, technical, medical, business, humanities and social science disciplines, with issues dating as far back as the 18th century. Wiley backfiles feature many of the top tier and earliest journals in their respective field, with almost half the titles published on behalf of academic and professional societies. Online books available through Wiley Online Library now feature over 20,000 scholarly and professional books, handbooks, dictionaries, companions and landmark book series. You can discover premier titles from the most celebrated scientists, award-winning authors and Nobel Prize-winning researchers in a huge range of subjects. Wiley also offers evidence-based medicine. These databases are designed to aid healthcare professionals in accessing the right information at the right time. As a commitment to an evidence-based approach continues to grow, our products provide up-to-date, impartial medical information to facilitate diagnosis and improve patient care by improving outcomes. Chemical databases and spectral libraries are also available, ranging from validated reaction and synthesis databases to high-end in-lab spectral libraries. Finally, we have over 18,000 protocols published across 18 titles in the current protocol series, invaluable for expert commentaries and recipes, from reagents to the equipment needed and expected results. As you browse across our site, you will see we cover a huge range of topics from agriculture to psychology, and with over 126 subcategories, we offer an impressive breadth of content. You can see on this slide how our journal content breaks down, with hundreds of renowned journals in medicine and life sciences, business, finance and social sciences, and physical science and engineering. One of the most useful tools when browsing content on Wiley Online Library is the ability to tell what content you have access to via your institution or via open access initiatives. Look out for the following access icons above each content link when you search for content. The first icon denotes open access content, which is freely accessible. The second icon denotes access to content which your institution or organisation has purchased access to for users and researchers at that institution. The third icon denotes content on Wiley Online Library that has been made freely available by the editorial team for the journal or book that the article or chapter came from. If you see these icons next to content links on Wiley Online Library, you should be able to access the relevant article or book chapter. So what's new on the site? Well, one of the big differences is that the old site was not well optimized to display content on devices or smaller screens, and trying to navigate the site itself would be very difficult indeed. All areas of the new site and all its features are now optimized for use on any size screen or device, and overall should provide a much improved user experience. The old site was also increasingly cluttered with text and links that could sometimes be difficult to read with a less intuitive layout. The new site should be a much more intuitive experience, with options laid out clearly, with the most used and useful options easy to find and pick up. The search functionality has been overhauled comprehensively. Search is front and center on the new site, with predictive text, optional filters, and suggested search terms. We will cover this in more detail in the search portion of this presentation. There is a combined user/administrator login space, which no longer has separate logins. Both user types can go straight to the home page and log in to proceed directly. And finally, the new site is future-facing. It was time-consuming to make change and updates to our old site with a complex infrastructure. With the new site, we are in a position to add new features and functionality much more quickly and respond to issues and suggestions for improvement in a more timely fashion. In the following slides, you will learn about the site's overall design, login methods, institutional information and links, the layout, resources, and finally, user features. The first thing to note is the slight change to our URL for the homepage. The site is now HTTPS rather than just HTTP to ensure it is a more secure browsing experience for users. This was primarily developed with secure, safe internet transactions in mind. The old URL still links to this one, but it's a good idea to make sure that the new URL is included in your institution's safe list for sites. If you need to log into the site, you can find that the Login or Register button is still up in the top left of the home page and will stay in that location wherever you navigate on the site. When you click on it, you will have the chance to either log in as an individual or through an organization, if your organization is set up with this access method, using your email address and password. Alternatively, there is a new user option at the bottom which you can click to get signed up. If you are a library administrator, you are no longer required to visit an individual separate login page for library administration. You can simply log in via the home page using your institutional customer ID and password to gain access to your online library administration area. The search bar now has a prominent position on the home page. You can't miss it, whereas before the search bar, for the initial search from the home page, was a little more hidden on the left-hand side of the page. You can also now more easily perform an advanced search from the home page. You will also see that we have simplified the resources for content. The four main audiences, researchers, librarians, societies and authors, are now directed to their appropriate pages. The necessary information for each audience is segmented and displayed more clearly than the old platform. We did this so you can more easily locate your desired information, which we will continue to add to. Finally, information at the top of the page stays with you as you browse the site. The Wiley logo on the left will jump you back to your home page, and in the centre will be a link and information regarding the institution or university that is providing access to the content on the platform. And on the right you will see your name if you are logged in, from which you can access your account information. As you scroll down, you will see the different subjects with major subheadings. These pages will direct you to content related to the subjects. This includes the most recent and cited content on the topic. This would be a good place for a reference librarian to direct students doing general research papers. Towards the bottom of the page, after the major subjects, there is a section called New to Wiley Online Library. This section is reserved for content that is new to the platform and which you can check at a glance. There's also an option to browse all journals and book content alphabetically. Underneath that, in the bottom margin, are general links for more information. Much like the branding or masthead at the top, this information remains persistent and will be available to you on all pages on the site. Here we will show you what the user features look like when you go into the My Account area, which you can access after you log in by clicking on your name. As an individual user, you get 8 options, covering personal information and address, which you can update, subscriptions and subscription access, which shows you what content you have access to, an area to use any access codes you've been provided for specific content, manage alerts, so you can set up alerts for articles and topics and manage those from here. You can also manage any favorites that you've selected on the site in terms of content, as shown in this shot. Finally, you can also manage any saved searches which you have created using the site. I'm now going to take you through the search functionality of the platform. This will include a few basic and advanced searches, filters, and other new features. Here is what we will cover for performing a basic search. You will learn how to use the homepage search bar with predictive results, how to search by content type, publication year, name of publication and author, how to apply filters, how to use the keyword filter, how to refine your search using keywords, and how to check search history. Let's start by trying some searches to give you an idea of how Wiley Online Library will return results. There are a few different ways to do this, and it should give you an idea of how different disciplines or users might find the information they need. The most obvious way to search on the new platform will be to use the search bar at the top of the homepage here. As an example, let's say that an undergraduate student who has a research paper on Marfan syndrome wants to discover what content Wiley Online Library can offer. An undergraduate student who hasn't honed their search skills or is otherwise unfamiliar with the topic may just perform a keyword search as they would in Google. They may even type the term Marfan, expecting a result. If I type in Marfan, you will see some predictive text appears under the search bar. This new predictive feature will offer the user options like authors or publication titles that include the term you are searching for, as well as offering the standard option to search the term across all content on the platform, which is what we will now choose. So if we did a basic search for Marfan, then this is what we would expect to see as a result. As you can see, this brings up over 4,000 results, which can be overwhelming, so there are a few things I want to highlight here that can help. In the far left margin, we have some filters to bring precision to the search. You can filter by content type, whether it be found in journal, book or reference work, by publication year, by topic, and under that are options to filter by publication title or author. Previously on Wiley Online Library, you could only filter results by content type. These new filters add a little more flexibility for users to help find what they are looking for. Also available is an open access search filter. This filters on all content that is freely accessible due to its open access status. Here you can see what the search result looks like if I filter by content type and choose only reference works and select only publications that have published in the last year. You will see that these filter options stick to the filter bar to let the user know they are filtering content. They can easily be removed by clicking on the X next to each term. If your institution has access to the article, it will display full access and the brief record for the result. If we were to click on one of the reference works entries, it would take us straight to the relevant article. So this is the selected article. One thing to draw attention to is that in the information pane on the right hand side are keywords. This allows you to further your search using subject vocabulary related to the original search term. If you were to click on the keyword Marfan syndrome, in those keywords you would be taken to search results specifically about that topic. You could click on one of the other keywords and be taken to a search on content that relates to the term you've clicked on. These keywords can also help you build on your search by finding associated terms to the one you're searching for, or even narrowing your search by using these keywords in conjunction with one another. If we go back to the subject search, we can examine the other initial features of the search. So if you searched for Marfan syndrome without any filters, this is what you would see. Results which are specifically about that topic. Here you can also refine your search by selecting the Refine Search option. This is another function aimed to refine your results by the 4 filters we just examined. A key difference here is that now you can also add terms and more accurately perform a Boolean search. You can add multiple keywords by selecting the plus button highlighted here. Adding an asterisk to a keyword means that it will search for that word in multiple forms, bringing up results for the word gene, but also for genetics, etc. If we add the truncated term gene, we can focus more on how Marfan syndrome relates to genetics. We can also look at search history by selecting the Search History tab, which presents how the search has been going and how we got to this point. You can click on any of these previous searches to go back to where you were. We can also look at saved searches, which we'll cover in a moment. I'm now going to talk you through how to do an advanced search. In this section you will learn how to do an advanced search using key terms, search for journals that match your keywords, search by keywords in a journal, perform a known item search, save a search, and sign up for saved search alerts. To do an advanced search, you need to go to the home page and click the Advanced Search text, which is circled here. If we look at the Advanced Search page, users can combine search terms without having to construct their own Boolean logic. There are also some additional search tips here to the right side of the page. Much like the refined search function we saw earlier, users can now provide a few filters on their initial search. In this scenario, let's imagine you want to find out more information about cryptocurrency. You begin by adding the term cryptocurrency and then add the terms Bitcoin and risk, and also search in specific journals. Perhaps you want to focus on finance and accounting journals. If you type in the term AC or FIN, you will see the journals with that name. This might be useful if you don't know the exact name of a specific journal, as this will return a few highly relevant results. If you select one of those journals, the filter will be applied as before. You can see that you're searching within that journal because the journal name will appear to the left of the screen in the Applied Filters section. You can now see results for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency and risk within the Journal of Corporate Accounting and Finance. Let's say you want to perform a known item search. You can paste in the direct name of an article or chapter title into the search bar and it should show up. In this example, you know the article you want is entitled Bitcoin, Risks and Controls. If you perform a search using that title, it should hit the top of the relevancy ranking as seen here. I'm now going to talk you through how to save a search. If you're a researcher or someone who will need to return to previous search results, this should prove a useful tool. The first thing you will need to do is log in. After logging in, you'll have access to this functionality and be able to access any saved searches you have previously run and saved. You will not be able to use this function if you haven't logged in to your individual user account. As an example, let's imagine you were looking for articles by a specific author. You can limit those results in your search. In this case, we're interested in the work of Zachary M. Solar. After performing that search, you can save it by clicking Save Search at the top of the page. This will then link to your Wiley Online Library account. Unregistered users do not have the ability to save their searches in the same way. Once your search has been named and saved, you can choose to receive updates around that search term as new articles filter in on a daily, weekly or monthly basis, or you can choose to not be notified at all. If you ever want to revisit the search, you can go into your personal account and look at saved searches. Like saving your search with updates, you can also enable an RSS feed. This does not require a personal Wiley Online Library login and will allow you to receive updates on searches as they filter in. Now that we've reviewed the search features of the page, let's take a look at the actual content that your users will be accessing. In this section, you will learn about the following features and journal content: bibliographic information, PDF features, online article tools, article information, society hubs, and book content, which although has less features, we will also touch briefly on. If we click on the link to a journal article from our search result, we will be taken to a page that offers the abstract of that content, author, and other bibliographic information. If you have access, the whole article and additional functionality will be displayed underneath. You'll notice the institution or organisation that provides access for you to this content will have a link at the top of the page with their logo. In this case, it simply has a Wiley logo. The journal the article was published in is displayed below in the form of a banner. There's also a link to the journal on the far right. Both of these can be clicked to take you to the home page for the journal if you want to explore content, issues, and articles relating to that journal. Below the journal banner, you'll see bibliographic content about the article. including authors and publication date. Whether you have full access to the article or not, you will always have full access to the abstract. You'll then be given the option to read the article in HTML. Most articles in HTML will be segmented, so by clicking the Sections button, you can jump to a particular area of the article. If we look back above the abstract, you have 3 buttons that you can interact with: PDF, Tools, and Sharing. If you click on the PDF option, it will allow you to view the content as an interactive ePDF through our partner, ReadCube. This is what it looks like. You can see at the top there is a distinct download button if you wish to download the standard PDF. There is also the ability to add the article to your library and view references and citations. If you click the References button, it will give you a listing of all the works the article has cited, without bound linking to each article. Towards the bottom you have more functionality, including zooming in and out on the page, resizing, rotating, downloading, printing, sharing, and much more. You can also view related texts, export references, and share the article. Returning to the main article page on Wiley Online Library and looking to the right of the PDF option, there is a drop-down from the Tools menu. This gives you the option to request permission to use the article in various ways, export citations, or add it to favourites if you are signed in, and to track this particular citation for updates. If you click the Export Citation option, you'll be taken to a page which provides an example of an APA citation, but also with the ability to export the citation to various bibliographic managers, namely ProCite, Reference Manager, EndNote, BibTeX, Medlars, or RefWorks. This can be done via direct or indirect import. If we go back to the article, you also have the ability to share it through various channels, including email, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Share, Reddit, and Site You Like. If you have access to the article, you also have the option to share full text access with colleagues and peers via the link at the top, which will provide a special URL you can share with peers who wouldn't normally be able to access the full article content. On the right-hand side of the page, there's additional information displayed on a rail that users can also utilize to their advantage. The first is the information bar. Here you can see article metrics like citations or alt metrics, which can give you a sense of how much the article has been discussed online. Bibliographic details, keywords, which can be utilized for further searching, and publication history from manuscript to publication, where available. Next is the Related tab, which will have articles that are relevant to the subject and are recommended for further reading. These articles reside on Wiley Online Library, so it should be easy for you to link to them. Next we can look at the References tab. Like the ePDF links, these link out directly to the articles that are referenced, regardless of where they reside. Outbound links will be available via Google Scholar or your link resolver. The final tab is Figures. If an article has figures, they can all be viewed in isolation here. You can view them directly on the web page via a figure viewer, or download them to a PowerPoint slide. So far we've been looking at journal content. Let's take a look at what our book content looks like. If we do a new search for semiconductors and limit our results to books, you'll be taken to chapter level content. The main difference you'll notice is that there is no banner for the book. Instead, there will be a link to the full book title at the top of the page. If you click on that, it will jump you to the book's landing page. The book homepage will have an author biography with the book content separated into chapters. If you have access to the title, you will be given an option to download the book by chapter or as a full book, as PDF files. If you scroll further down the page, you will see the option to click on a selection of chapters from the book. If you click on a specific chapter, we can review the content more closely. When you click on a chapter, you will receive a summary of the chapter in HTML format. If you want to read the actual chapter, you'll need to view it in PDF. By clicking the link, you'll have the option to view the isolated chapter or read the whole book. It is not as interactive as the journal or PDF, but users will still be able to zoom, print, or download the content. Wiley Online Library reference works content is similar, and you can usually search by topic in addition to the table of contents. I wanted to show you one more content page before we conclude. Wiley partners with a number of societies to produce journal content. Some of these societies have their own hub sites that Wiley hosts. These URLs can be slightly different and reflect the society the content is linked to, and the pages themselves have their own unique look and feel. Let's take a look at the Anthosource Society Hub. We can type in an Anthosource journal like American Ethnologist, and from there jump to the homepage or hub for the society that you can see here on Wiley Online Library. Although there are some branding and layout differences, the vast majority of features and functionality remains the same. You have the ability to browse journals that are hosted on the hub site, as you could any other content on Wiley Online Library. Again, these might look a little different, but their content is accessible in the same way. At the article level, the content is displayed identically to how it is elsewhere on the site, so the user experience should be very similar.